Ron, thank you. And he's one of the drivers of the Canucks offense. He's also one of the Canucks' most popular players. We're delighted to have Conor Garland with us tonight alongside Randip, Janda, a Canucks radio analyst who is here to ensure that Conor gets at least some intelligent questions. Before we start, Luke Gazdic made his debut on Hockey Night in Canada tonight. You know him from the minors, right?
Yeah, he played in Stockton against us a bunch. Someone you were aware of when he was on the ice, and I didn't act up much when we played against they had a tough team. So
and the glove story?
Yeah, we had like a 5-on-5 scrum against him, and one of our guys, actually Michael Bunting, surprisingly enough, took his glove and brought it on our bench, and one of our older guys ran down the bench, was like, "Give him his glove back, no one's messing with him." So it was we were like rushing to get his glove off our bench.
Excellent. All right, Randip, over to you.
Hard-fought win today, Conor, and you look at the way that your line is now playing. 6 points tonight. What's clicking? Because another game where you guys were just buzzing all night long.
Yeah, we've had a good couple games together, but we had a really good practice the other day, and we feel confident in our abilities as a trio. And I think Hockey kind of drove our line tonight. Was really good on the forecheck, separated guys from the puck, and PD's one of the best guys in the league, I think, through the neutral zone with the puck, and it's a kind of a line that's working right now pretty well.
Conor, this is your second appearance on this program, which I would suggest says a whole lot about your career. Wouldn't you agree? Anyway, we had you on in November of 20, and one of the things we talked to you about in that program was your goal celebrations, or cellies as they're called, and they have become no less celebratory in the last 2 years. So we offer up this celebration, this cellie, from a 3-0 goal against Toronto in January. What is going on here?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was obviously always the greatest playing the Leafs, and the city's so excited driving over to the game. Like, there's so many jerseys and high energy game, and I used to stick to her a lot in junior, regrettably, and unfortunately it came back, but I haven't done it since.
2 assists tonight. You'd scored in each of your last 2 games coming into tonight for 15 on the season, and each of them, I would suggest, celebrate it like they could have been your first in the NHL. It is really difficult to score in the National Hockey League, but for you, it seems to be really, really special. And so we have this question from, and now I've got to find it because my phone went blank for a sec, but I've got it back here. This is from Wyatt Arndt, who writes for The Athletic. Can you ask him if he feels he has the best goal cellies on the team, and does he practice them, or do they come naturally?
Well, I mean, I really don't think about it much. It's just exciting to score. I think if you probably saw my goals from last year, I don't celebrate at all. Just, we were out of the playoffs, about a month into the season, so they don't really feel meaningful. But, this year we've been in it since the start, and it's fun winning games in this league, and when you score and you contribute, it's hard not to get excited.
You are a vital player for the Canucks, to the extent that if Rick Tocchet wants to get Elias Pettersson going, he puts you on his line. What you mean to this team makes something that broke on the eve of this season back in October seem like a long, long time ago. Randip.
Yeah, and going back to the season, and listen, you had a great season thus far, but going back to the eve of the season, a lot of trade talk. Was there ever a trade request? No,
I think I've tried pretty hard, to squash that, because I was disappointed it got reported that way. As a player, you hate to be a distraction. That's one thing you never want to be, and it was the eve of our first game against a very good Oilers team, and I was disappointed it got reported that way. But that's kind of how it is when you're in a Canadian market. But no, I'm very, very glad to be here. In the summer, we knew this team was going to be a good hockey club, and maybe not this good, but we're really excited about where we are. We're just looking forward. That was a long, long time ago, and now we're a couple weeks away from the playoffs, and that's really our sole focus.
One of your assets is your skating and your perpetual motion. That might be your greatest asset, in fact. That takes us back to your days as a tyke. Your father, Gary, played pro. He kicked around in the minors for a season, so obviously he's been key to your development. He took you to Mike Botticelli's figure skating school, and he asked him, can you help my kid with his skating? And Botticelli did. How?
Yeah, we, probably from the age of 8 to 12, I was skating with him 2 to 3 times a week at 5 in the morning before school. So he was a captain of the U.S. figure skating team in 1980. He was a famous Olympian, and his thought process is you have to be able to move any way, at any time, at any speed. And we worked, tirelessly. And then when I made the NHL, he actually called me after my first season. I had worked with him a few years. He moved to L.A., And he said, I'm moving back. You're not a good enough skater to be a consistent NHL player. So we worked together for a couple more years, and he really improved my skating. And someone I was very fortunate to know and work with for a long, long time.
Botticelli told you, I think, keep your feet moving and skate like everyone else has a disease. In other words, he meant don't get touched. Is that an accurate description of your skating?
Yeah, that was also just more of spinning off of hits. I played up as a young kid, and I was 15 playing against 20-year-olds, and that was our philosophy. You don't want to be a younger, smaller player with shoulder injuries or knee injuries. You got to avoid hits, and you got to spin quick when you make a play, and in tight, you got to be able to shift and move your weight very quickly to get away from guys. So that was his line. Play like they have a disease.
We speak of Botticelli in the past tense because sadly he passed away last February. I think at the age of 63, having lost his battle with cancer, gone far too soon, but well remembered by you. Yeah, that was a tough time for me. I was fortunate to make it home for his celebration of life and skate with his lifelong skating partner Cheryl. We did a lap together. And that was pretty special for me. But yeah, very, very, very special man, and you're gone too soon. Back to your skating, the spin move seems to be a staple of your skating. You kind of remind me of Barry Sanders. That was his staple in the NFL. So you're the Barry Sanders answer in the NHL, perhaps. But Johnny Skate asks, does he ever get dizzy from all the sweet spin moves? No, I think I've reduced them. I think I work on that a lot in the summer, trying not to spin as much and just try to keep my motion and get away from guys in a straight line. But when you need to turn off of somebody, I use them. But yeah, I think they're maybe a little exaggerated. Randip.
You skate away from contact, but you're not shy from getting in those scrums and getting under the skin of opponents. We all saw that Nathan McKinnon helmet throw a couple of nights ago against Arbor Xhekaj. You got involved. How much pride do you take in that element of the game?
Well, it just comes naturally. I think when you're around the net, I think
this was in the bubble, and
yeah, that was. I mean, we were losing 9-3. I think he had 6 points. I didn't know why. There's Z. Yeah, that's us in our soccer games before we go out right there. So, but no, it's just part of how I always have. You like to compete, you like to win, and our team, like I said, we have a tough team, and we're in every game, and it's intense, and when you get into that stuff, you're usually involved and you're engaged, and sometimes it's a good sign.
The real Steve Correa, that's how he goes by, but it's not the Steve Correa who played for the Canucks. He asks, Garl showed up on a list of players I'd most like to fight, as voted on by his peers. Does that make him feel like he's doing his job right?
Oh, they just know it's a free win. I mean, who wouldn't want to fight the smallest guy in the league? I would. So, I'm sure.
That's not why they want to fight you.
I mean, I understand. I aggravate guys on the ice. I play under guys and try to use leverage, and it's just kind of always how I have been. It's not something I look for. It's just like I said, if you're engaged and you're getting on guys, it's a good sign.
I think it's our duty to let people know that you bring the same edge, the same enthusiasm to Canuck practices. And so we go back to training camp in Victoria when you engaged Dakota Joshua, who ironically would later become one of your line mates on arguably the Canucks' most important line for a stretch. And last week there was a bit of a tussle with Phil Hronek, and we couldn't find any video of that one. Randip.
And moments like that, where now Dakota and you are thick as thieves, so to speak, you guys are line mates when you're playing together. Does that linger in the room, or does it evaporate immediately?
No. I mean, not even in the slightest. I mean, we practice hard. We're a team that competes each and every day, and when we practice well, we play well. So I think some of my job on the team is, I try to bring energy to practices as well, and sometimes that happens. But with Dak, that was my fault. I kind of undercut him, got under his legs, and he was looking for me. But he'd win that fight maybe 9 out of 10 times.
And the Hronek scrap? If it was a scrap?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But I'm sure the guys up in practice couldn't get on Twitter fast enough when they saw it. So I'm sure
I wasn't there that day, by the way, Connor, so it wasn't me.
Not a lot of players in the NHL are wearing net guards, but you are. So Knockhead01 asks, what's it like to play with a net guard? Does it impact the way you play, knowing you have the extra bit of protection?
No, I don't think so. I think I actually made my decision. There was a is that it? There, you guys got a picture of it. Yeah. I mean,
that's yours.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah, there was an incident where it looked like Mark Scheifele got missed by a skate by a little bit, and that kind of scared me. And I figured, I just might as well put it on. It's just protection. I don't feel it. I actually wore a turtleneck kind of in junior, so it was an easy adjustment just to put it on.
Doesn't get in the way of anything.
No. I really haven't even thought about it since I put it on.
And do you feel that in any way you should be an advocate for neck guards around the NHL?
No, I think personal choices, is massive. I think guys are able to make that decision for themselves, the same as visors. I think, whatever you feel comfortable with wearing, you should wear. But, I'm obviously lower to the ice than a lot of guys, so I wear it for a little extra protection.
Do any of the other players ask you about it in terms of your experience wearing them?
No, I haven't been asked about it, no.
Last time we had you in After Hours, as I said, that was November of 20. You'd been a Canuck for a couple of months, and we talked to you about the recognition factor in Vancouver versus Arizona, where, as the expression goes, you'd have a hard time getting arrested, right?
Yeah, which isn't the worst thing, but yeah.
No, but I mean, you had said at the time that you could never recall being recognized
Correct.
in public.
Yeah. No, never once there. But that fits some guys. But here, it's definitely been more this year. I walk to the rink now. I live close over in Gastown, and I get to walk to work every day. It's nice, and people stop. I've actually walked with a couple of people to the rink. They've stopped and just talked, and it's nice. And I go to a great restaurant 3 times a week with my wife, a social corner, and we they're great in there. And I run into a lot of people. But
let me write that down. The social corner. Just got a plug.
Yeah. I mean, I might get a free meal out of that. But no, it's fun when the team's winning. You can feel the excitement. You see more hats, see more jerseys in the streets, and it's infectious.
Do you find as well that with the team winning more, that those people recognizing on the street is getting a little more? There's more frequent.
Yeah, I think for sure. But the one thing I'd say is every interaction is a good one. Everybody. Even last year when we had a tough stretch, everybody had some nice things to say. And sometimes you hear Vancouver's a tough city because of online stuff. But anytime you run into a fan in the street, they're great, and they make you feel welcome into the city, and they make you realize the city has your back, and it's a great place to play.
So can you recall your welcome to Vancouver moment, the moment at which you realized, hey, I'm in a big-time hockey market now?
Yeah, I think my first year we played Dallas, and we were in the playoff hunt, and coming over to the rink, it was packed, in the streets, and the building was rocking. That was probably my first time in the NHL being in a home building where you could feel, the impact of a home crowd. And then I would say this year it's been like that each and every game. So yeah, but that for sure was eye-opening.
Your path to the NHL is fascinating. Given your size, you've had to beat the odds consistently in your career. Actually, before we get to that, let's get some clarification on your size. You have been listed at 5'10". Did someone take some license with that measurement?
Yeah, I think maybe my junior team was trying to help me out. Now it's just stuck. I'm not 5'10". I wish I was, but closer to 5'8". But it is what it is.
Question from Trevor Lung. Who's better, Zadorov with your stick or you with Zadorov's stick?
Well, we're lefty and righty, so but yeah, I actually
just because of length.
Yeah,
right?
my stick's gotten a little higher here, but I don't know. That's tough, but I would say probably Z. I mean, look at that. It's a massive difference. I can't even answer that.
As a youth player in Boston, so you were the best player on your team growing up, but you probably had a little chip on your shoulder, right? Playing with being undersized. Was that something that you really started back then? Was it as a youth player? Did it form back then?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had Eichel and Ryan Donato on my team, so they would probably say they were better, but we had a good squad, and I don't know. I think I probably started to have a chip on my shoulder at Shattuck St. Mary's when I was cut, and that kind of changed me as a player and as a person. As a young guy, I just loved playing and just try to get better each and every day. But when you run into adversity, obviously that changes you, and that was probably the turning point in my career.
We'll get to Shattuck St. Mary's in a moment, but you played on the same teams, as you've mentioned, with Ryan Donato. Mm-hmm. I think he's your best friend. He was a second-round pick. Jack Eichel, first round. Second overall, in fact. That was you with Donato, and then there's you with Jack Eichel. And Colin White was also a first-round pick. How could you not be, as those guys are being drafted, and not be thinking, hey, I may not be as big as them, but I'm every bit as good?
Well, I think the NHL is more drafting for projection. I was an undersized guy in junior with a lot of holes in my game. I could score and put up points in junior, but I wasn't the greatest defensively. Had to round out my game, so I believe that's probably why I was drafted so late. But I was fortunate to go to a great place to develop me, and I never for a second doubted I'd play in the NHL. But yeah, it was definitely a longer road than most.
So in 2010, you went to Shattuck St. Mary's, the Minnesota boarding school that Sidney Crosby and Nathan MacKinnon helped make famous. In your 1 year there, you had 65 goals, 116 points in 52 games. And then what happened?
Well, then I went home.
No, but you mentioned they cut you right from
the they cut me at the start of the year. Yeah. There was a Tier 1 team, and there was a Bantam B team, as it was called. And I was surprised to get cut, but that happens. And I remember calling my dad and saying they just said I was too small to play Bantam, and it was going to be too physical. And his response was, "You're not too small. You just weren't good enough. If you were good enough, they would have taken you." So that was actually probably the best advice I ever got, and that was the truth. And no one's too small. You just have to get better and better.
Who cut you?
I told you, Teddy Bluger's father-in-law cut me.
Oh, there you go.
So there, yeah, I haven't been able to see him yet, but no, we'd probably just laugh about it now. But yeah, Teddy likes that.
So that's never come up in conversation. I'm sure it will.
No. They know. I don't hold a grudge though.
Do you know if the in-laws are coming to town anytime soon?
I believe they are. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to go. I have to go see him. We gotta make up.
So you go home, and not just because you were cut, but also I think because your mother was ill, and
Correct.
then you need a place to play. How hard was it to find one?
Yeah, it was tough. We weren't prepared to come home. My mom got Lyme disease and was out of work for a year, and that was tough. And I was fortunate to go home and find a place to play later in the summer with the Junior Bruins. Played with Jack Eichel again that year. And that was a massive year for me. I was really small that year. I hadn't really hit a growth spurt at all, and I was played against 20-year-olds that year, and that kind of taught me how to play against bigger guys and learn how to play, at a smaller size, use leverage, avoid hits, all the stuff that I still think makes me effective is what I learned that year.
So the Boston Junior Bruins were steeped in talent. They had Jack Eichel, they had William Nylander for a time. The coach of that team, Chris Masters, says, in the midst of all that talent, you were the standout. So now you're getting the attention you deserve from the NCAA and from Junior in Canada, and you had a decision to make. Tell us about that choice.
Yeah, I visited Penn State, and they offered a scholarship, and I was on the campus, and it's hard to turn that down. If anyone's ever seen that campus, it's beautiful. And about 6 months later, coach from the Quebec League, who I stayed in touch with, he had just told me that I could come there and play on the second line with Ivan Barbashev and Phil Deneau, and develop going into my draft season and, play a lot of hockey. I wasn't playing a lot at the time that year. So it was tough to turn that down. And obviously it's some people listening probably don't understand why you would leave a full scholarship. But at the time I thought that was my best chance to make it to the NHL, and I went with it.
We should point out you're talking about the Moncton Wildcats.
Correct, yes.
Right. And with the Wildcats, in your draft-eligible year, you set the Canadian Junior League on fire with 129 points to tie the entire Canadian Hockey League for the scoring lead.
And yeah, you put up the points that Scott mentioned, but you were passed over in the draft. At that point, what are you thinking, Connor?
Well, I was passed over my first year where I didn't have a great season. I came back and then had those points. I was taken, in the fifth round. Yeah, these are tough to watch when you see some of these celebrations. It's just I want to talk to my younger self, but no, it's just it was when I got passed over, it was definitely tough. And I knew I had to come back and have a good year, and I was fortunate that me and Barbashev really had a good year that year together. And then I was drafted the next year, and kind of didn't look back from there. Yeah,
Arizona took you in the fifth round. Here's a quote that's been attributed to you. There's never been a day that I thought, back then obviously, never a day that I thought I wasn't going to be an NHL player.
Yeah, that's true. I've always had an inner belief that I could make it. There's times where, I was in the American League my first year. I had, I believe, 4 or 5 goals, and the next year I only had 8, but I still felt very confident in my abilities. And the one thing I did know is when I got the call that you're not going to get many calls as an undersized fifth rounder. So when I got the call, I knew I had to be ready, and you had to play like every game was game 7 for as long as you could, and until you got your foot in the door.
So again, you pay your dues, 2.5 years in the minors with Tucson of the American Hockey League. Then you get to the NHL with Rick Tocchet as your coach. What do you recall about that day at center ice when Rick Tocchet said to you, "You are not an 18-minute-a-game player," and you said, "Yeah, well, make me one."
Yeah, that was, that's. We have a pretty good relationship, and I was very young at that point. I thought I was probably a better player than what I was, and I needed to work at a lot of stuff. And, the one thing that doesn't get talked about is, he put in a lot of work with me after that. And that was probably the best season of my career. And we did a lot of video. We worked on my details all around the ice. And, I was very fortunate to have a good season that year. And, that was my contract year. I was fortunate to get an extension after that. And, he was a large part of that because of that season, how much growth I had in that year as a player.
Well, let's fast forward 14 months, rewind in this case. But, Rick Tocchet gets hired as the Vancouver Canucks coach. What are you thinking at that point?
Well, I was obviously, excited. I loved playing for Rick. He was, it's different now. Obviously, I'm a little older. But, I always, when I heard the news, I thought it was going to be good for the hockey team. That was really my first thought is, we were a really good team in Arizona. I don't think a lot of people knew that. We were close to making the playoffs. I think we had like 120 goal scorer in 4 years. And I knew with the talent we had here and the ability for some of these guys to put up the points they do with the structure in place, I thought we were going to be a really good hockey team. And, fortunately, it's worked out that way.
Let's talk about your family. Your father, Gary, runs a roofing company. Your mother, Bridget, is still a foreman at Mass Transit, supervising the repair of the rail lines. So an obvious question. From where does your work ethic come?
Well, both of them. They both... worked hard each year. My mom would go to work at 11 o'clock at night, and that would motivate me as a 15-year-old, to make sure I was doing my work. And, there weren't many nights I wasn't stick handling or shooting in our garage when she would leave for work, because she was putting in the time and making money where, some of it was going into my training and stuff. So, obviously my father's, massive influence on me. He was a hard worker, wasn't very skilled as a player, but he worked hard. Yeah, they're obviously both massive influences on me.
Well, let's also talk about your siblings as well. We got Cameron, Corey, a 3-time All-American, if I'm not mistaken,
Correct.
and Kathleen.
In lacrosse.
In lacrosse, two of them NCAA players. Who's the best athlete in the family, Connor?
Corey is, like you said, she was a 3-time All-American. She set the records at her school for, all the goals, all the assists in lacrosse. And she was a very good hockey player in high school. She got the genetics. She's about my height. She used to be faster than me until she stopped playing. So I had to work hard. She didn't work hard. She was just gifted. And, I used to love going home after I come home from junior and watch her play her lacrosse games. And, I was very proud. And now she's a nurse in Indiana. And, she's still a hard worker. She works nights. And, she's just the greatest.
Speaking of family, you and Megan were married last August. Did the wedding have a hockey flavor to it?
No. I mean, some hockey guys there. Yeah. But no, we, these, we had a great day that day. I actually got to fish with, all the guys at 7 a.m. and then we golfed from 10 to 3. And then
was there time for the wedding?
I was gonna say our wedding started at 4, and I was in my shower at 3:55. So my wife was texting one of my grooms was like, "Can we get going here? I haven't seen him once today." So we made her sweat it out a little bit.
Okay, we're going to race to get this in. Your hometown is Scituate. It's a Massachusetts coastal town, 45 minutes from Boston, which somehow makes Jaws, the 1975 thriller, released 21 years before you were born, your favorite movie, and you have a love of sharks. So we've started a new segment on After Hours tonight. We're going to call it Pick Out That Shark Species. There are about 155 of them, and we have 3 for you to consider here. Here's the first one.
A leopard shark.
Excellent. And the second one?
Great white.
Okay, and the third one?
That's a tiger.
Very nice work.
Well,
we'd love to offer you a prize, but the show isn't that big. We've got a very limited budget here, as in no budget at all. It's been great to have you on After Hours tonight. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
All right. There's Conor Garland, key ingredient to the Canucks this season and heading to the postseason.